Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to Mixed Text and Politics. So, El Paso joins Governor Greg Abbott in busing migrants to New York City. So, as we've seen, Greg Abbott sending busloads of illegals to um, New York City and Washington, D.C. Check this out. So, the city of El Paso this week sent 35 Venezuelan migrants to New York City, a step meant to address a growing number of people from southern American countries crossing from Mexico. So there's been there's been criticism from these far left city mayors saying they don't have enough resources, this and that, putting a strain on the city, blah blah blah. But um, they've made it possible for this to happen by making their cities sanctuary cities. So now that they have the problem on their doorstep, they're complaining about it. So Greg Abbott has sent, he has sent over 7,400 migrants to the U.S. Capitol and 1,500 people to New York City as of this week, according to his office. So why is the southern border being open a problem? It's a problem because of drugs. Millions of dollars worth of drugs coming across the border. Look, I'm not against people coming to this country. My dad came from Guatemala, so I'm not some far right um, Nazi, hates illegal immigrants or that hates people coming to this country. I have a problem when people cross this border illegally and have the potential to bring thousands of pounds and $1 million worth of drugs that kill millions of people. That can kill millions of people potentially. So, check this out. Border Protection sees nearly 12 million of. Fuck! Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to Mixed Text and Politics. So, El Paso joins Governor Greg Abbott in busing migrants to New York City. As we've seen, Greg Abbott recently has been sending busloads of illegals to New York City and far left Washington, D.C. Those cities have made it um, a sanctuary city. They've made their places sanctuary cities, and they've allowed this to happen. So now that these people are coming to the cities, they're complaining about, saying we don't have resources, blah blah, criticizing Greg Abbott for this. But hey, now they're on your doorstep. Don't complain about it. So the city government of El Paso chartered a bus this week to send 35 Venezuelan migrants to New York City, a step meant to address a growing number of people from the South American country crossing the border. So as we see here in this article, um, Greg Abbott has sent more than 7,400 migrants to the U.S. Capitol and more than 1,500 to New York City as of this week. So this is a big problem here because, like I said, I'm not against people coming to this country. There is a process to do it, a way to do this legally. I'm not against, if there's a child with the mother fleeing a dangerous situation, I have sympathy for these people. My problem is that the potential amount of drugs coming across the border and weapons and things like that. As we see here, Border Protection seized nearly $12 million worth of cocaine at the southern border of Texas. So, agents from the Office of Customs and Border Protection seized more than 1,500 pounds of cocaine with the street value of almost $12 million at the Texas southern border. This occurred on August 26th. So, the vehicle, which was apparently carrying baby wipes, was sent for a secondary inspection where the drug shipment was discovered. The truck had 1,935 packages of cocaine hidden in the trailer. The package weighed 1,500 pounds with an estimated street value $11.8 million. So, like I said, this is why this is a big problem. In another case, last Saturday, Border Patrol agents in the Rio Grande Valley sector in Texas seized more than 200 pounds of marijuana in a truck that was abandoned in the river. There's more. $400,000, nearly $400,000 in fentanyl seized at Texas-Mexico border. U.S. Customs and Border Protection officers seized 29 pounds of fentanyl worth $390,000 from a car entering Texas from Mexico. So, like I said, there are problems that are happening at the border that people don't even realize. I had a debate with a guy who said that the drug problem is not reaching places like Oregon because Oregon is not a border state. I had to show him the facts. I showed him how many drugs are flowing into Oregon, how many people are dying of fentanyl, and how many drugs are coming in, how many pounds of drugs and fentanyl are coming into the southern border. Of course, he stopped debating me on this issue once I showed him the facts, but this is why the southern border being wide open is an issue. So Texas sheriffs take aim at Biden border policies causing tsunami of death from drug smuggling. Like I said, this is a problem nationwide. So here goes. It's quite frankly a tsunami of death that is crashing into the United States over our southern border. Collin County Sheriff Jim Skinner said thousands of pounds of fentanyl that Mexican drug cartels traffic into the Lone Star State is killing Americans wholesale, and it's just an epic slaughter manufactured by the cartels. If you don't secure the border, it's going to continue. This was in a Zoom call with a number of sheriffs with the New York Post. Fentanyl is now the leading cause of death for Americans between the ages of 18 and 45, according to one analysis. A total of 107,622 people have died of overdoses in the U.S. in 2021, with the overwhelming majority caused by synthetic opioids like fentanyl, according to the CDC. The drug is frequently brought into the United States from Mexico and China. Skinner said there has been a 571% increase in fatal fentanyl poisonings in his county. In nearby Tarrant County, home to Fort Worth, I live in Tarrant County. Wayborn said that he had seized enough fentanyl to kill 400,000 people. So, yeah, this is why I complain. This is why I have an issue with the border being wide open. Like I said, I'm not some racist. Actually, one of my own relatives, very closely related to me, called me. He said I had a far-right, borderline racist views. That was primarily because I was complaining about the southern border. I said we need to secure the border, build a wall, and stop people from coming here, bringing these illegal drugs across the country. And I was called a racist, borderline racist. My views were called borderline racist for that. It's called far-right. Doesn't make any sense. There's nothing far right about wanting to keep our communities safe and to keep drugs from coming across the border. There's nothing racist about that. The southern border being open or being secure is not a political issue. It shouldn't be political, but it's been made political over the years. This should be a bipartisan issue. Both sides of the aisle should want to secure the border. And there are a lot of Democrats who want to secure the border. There are a lot of Democrats who do not want people flowing into the country, by the thousands with unchecked. There are a lot of Democrats that just don't want that. So what I'm saying is that the party who is going to be more likely to secure the border at this point in time is the Republican Party. Now, things may have been different many decades ago. I don't know, but over the past several years, we know when Trump made this an issue, the cornerstone of his campaign, securing the border clearly became a Republican, something Republicans can fall back on. Actually should be the cornerstone of all GOP candidates' campaign, in my opinion. Inflation is horrible, yes, but I think the top two issues need to be the border, and crime. That'll completely destroy a nation right there. Inflation, we'll get through this. Eventually, we've been here before, but when you allow hundreds and thousands of people coming across the border, drugs flowing, cartels trafficking drugs and guns, like I said, you could destroy a nation that way. There's no doubt about that. So that's why this is such a huge issue for me. So anyway, guys, I'm going to stop the video right there. I just wanted to shed some light on the border, what's going on with what Greg Abbott's doing, sending people to other states, to these sanctuary cities, drawing attention to the issue. But anyway, if you can, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Take care.